My beloved child, don't scroll. What you're about to hear is not a story, it's a revelation. Something happened inside your own home that heaven refused to stay silent about. Someone recorded something in your bathroom, and what the recording captured is not what any human eye was supposed to see. Stay till the end. If you leave halfway, you'll miss the part that explains why this happened and what it means for your life right now. Before we go further, take 1 second, tap that subscribe button to Anointed Echo so you never miss what heaven is revealing next. Because this message, it's personal. You noticed it first in the small things. The mirror fogged strangely even when there was no steam. You heard faint knocking sounds, like someone gently tapping from the other side, but you brushed it off. Maybe it's the pipes. No, child, it wasn't. The spiritual and the physical overlap most in the private places where you think no one sees you. That's why the bathroom became the battleground. A hidden watcher, not of flesh, but of spirit, was permitted for a moment to reveal itself. And someone recorded it. When they pressed play, the light flickered 3 times. In the reflection, a faint outline appeared behind you, not menacing, but watchful. Wings of light folded once, and the water in the sink rippled without touch. What they caught on camera was not a ghost. It was evidence of divine surveillance. Heaven checking in. Protection proving itself. Don't panic. This isn't to scare you, it's to awaken you. Because God says, I have been guarding even the places where you felt most alone. Now take a deep breath. Type blessed and ready in the comments right now if you believe angels still move in unseen places. And while you type, hit subscribe to Anointed Echo because what comes next will confirm what your spirit has been sensing all week. When the person who recorded that clip looked closer, they realized something chilling. In the mirror's fog, faint words had formed, not drawn by human hand, but etched by breath. 3 words only, I see you. The ordinary mind would fear that, but the prophetic eye understands. It wasn't a threat, it was a reminder. Heaven sees you when you cry alone. Heaven saw you when you said, God, if you're real, give me a sign. That sign just came, in the very room where you thought nobody noticed your pain. Child, listen. That recording wasn't random. It was allowed, to show you that the spiritual realm has been watching over you since the day you almost gave up. That shadow you saw last week wasn't darkness following you, it was light revealing what had been hidden. Because something unclean had been trying to attach itself to your peace, and heaven said, enough. Let's go deeper. You've been feeling strange fatigue lately, heavy air, uneasy dreams, sudden chills near water. Those were not coincidences. The atmosphere shifted because God began cleansing your space. The bathroom, symbolic of cleansing, became the stage for a spiritual purge. When water met light, truth surfaced. The recording picked up a faint hum, a tone just under human hearing. Spectrogram analysis showed a pattern that matched ancient Hebrew frequency for the word ruach, spirit, meaning, the Spirit of God moved there. Stay with me, don't skip. Because this is where heaven starts explaining why you're hearing this message right now. If you haven't yet, press like, not for algorithm, but as agreement that you received divine revelation today. And subscribe to Anointed Echo because prophetic moments like this don't repeat. They continue. That night, the person who recorded it couldn't sleep. Every time they closed their eyes, they saw flashes, a white robe brushing past the mirror, a hand reaching toward the camera, then disappearing. They prayed, and suddenly felt peace flood the room. Next morning, the footage was gone. Deleted, by what means no one knows. Only a short 5-second clip remained, the moment light flared like lightning and a voice whispered, "Cleanse your heart as you cleanse your hands." That's the message for you. Heaven is saying, you've been scrubbing the surface of your life trying to appear okay. But I'm cleansing you deeper, spirit, soul, and mind. Every tear you cried behind that closed door, heaven bottled it. Every sigh that escaped when you stared at your reflection, God heard it. And now He's sending this recording, not to haunt you but to heal you. You see, child, The bathroom is where people remove what doesn't belong. Symbolically, that's exactly what God is doing in your season. He's flushing out the residue of betrayal, shame, and guilt that's been clinging to your soul. The strange occurrences, the flickering light, the unseen presence, all were signs that spiritual cleansing had begun. That's why this message found you today. You didn't stumble here by accident, you were summoned. Heaven wants you to stop fearing the noise and start discerning the message inside it. Because what was recorded in your bathroom is happening now inside your spirit. Light confronting residue, holiness exposing what hides. Listen carefully, God says, "My child, I am near, even when you think I'm silent. I enter the spaces others call ordinary and make them sacred." That's why a mundane room became a sanctuary. He turned the most private place into proof of his presence. So don't rush away from this message. Stay. Because in the next moments, I'll reveal what that sign truly means for your future, and what heaven wants you to do next. Before that, type "blessed" and "ready" in the comments if you feel God cleaning unseen corners of your life. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe to Anointed Echo, because prophetic eyes are opening all over this community, and you are part of it. When the mirror fog cleared, a faint mark remained on the glass. Not written by hand, not by steam, but burned faintly into the surface like breath that refused to fade. At first, it looked like nothing. But when light hit it at a certain angle, it formed a single symbol, a wing, half gold, half ash. That's when heaven whispered, "Light and shadow once shared space here, but only one remains." The recording was proof of a silent war that had been fought over your peace for years. You thought the battles were emotional, relational, or mental, but they were spiritual campaigns happening in the unseen. The bathroom wasn't just a room anymore, it became a mirror of your spirit, the place where old things drain away. And the moment someone pressed record, they unknowingly documented your deliverance. Heaven says, the cleansing has begun. That flicker of light in the video, that was not malfunction. That was manifestation. Angels move in patterns of light because darkness cannot withstand the frequency of holiness. Child, don't take this lightly. What was recorded was a divine interruption. The sound waves carried energy, spiritual information, coded in frequencies your natural ears cannot decode. But your spirit recognizes it. That's why your heart beats faster as you listen now. Pause for 1 second. Not to fear, but to agree. Say it out loud, "Lord, whatever you are cleansing, complete it." And as you say it, take a moment, click like, comment "blessed and ready," and subscribe to Anointed Echo. Because this word isn't entertainment, it's an encounter. You have been surrounded by unseen witnesses, my child. When you felt eyes on you even in silence, it wasn't paranoia, it was perception. The Spirit was alerting you that something was about to shift, that strange cold air before the shower. That wasn't temperature, it was transition. A shift was happening in the atmosphere around you. Every time you wiped the mirror clean, you weren't just removing fog, you were erasing residue of the past. God says, every reflection you see now is new. You're not who you were, and that's why the footage mattered. The moment the person recorded, heaven sealed evidence that the transformation is real. You are being watched, not by the enemy anymore, but by heaven's guardians, ensuring that what once haunted you can never return. Late that night, when the recorder replayed the footage, they heard whispers under the sound of dripping water. Not words, vibrations. After audio restoration, a voice emerged faintly, speaking in rhythm. Wash the hands, free the heart, close the door, start again. And suddenly, everything made sense. The reason you kept feeling drawn to start over. The reason old cycles stopped fitting. The reason doors closed abruptly. Heaven wasn't punishing you, it was purifying you. Beloved, don't resist what God is rinsing away. Because every loss lately, every distance, every goodbye, was divine sanitation. The water had to carry away the waste. The spirit realm moves the same way. Listen closely, there's one more hidden layer in this story. When investigators enhanced the footage frame by frame, at timestamp 3:21 a.m., a figure stood near the mirror, indistinct, tall, surrounded by faint light, and then dissolved into mist. But on the wall behind it, a shadow stayed, shaped like an open book. And when they checked later, the shadow was gone. That was no coincidence. God is saying, the chapter that tormented you is now closed. No more cycles of fear. No more residue of what once defiled your spirit. He turned the very room of cleansing into a courtroom of closure. The presence recorded wasn't demonic. It was divine audit. Heaven checked the records of your pain, verified your endurance, and declared, case dismissed. Take this seriously. The reason your reflection has looked different lately isn't only physical, it's spiritual. You are reflecting peace now, not torment. You've grown lighter because weights have been lifted. So the next time you stand before your mirror and water flows, remember this: what they recorded was the moment heaven archived your old self. That footage became a testimony of transformation. Heaven says, every tear you shed while alone became part of the water that sanctified you. Every sigh, every confession, every whispered prayer while washing your face, I heard it. That's why my presence appeared. Don't scroll, stay right here. Because the next detail is crucial for your destiny. In the reflection, just before the light vanished, a symbol blinked, 3 concentric circles. Prophetic interpretation reveals this pattern as body, soul, spirit alignment. The Father, Son, and Holy Spirit aligning your internal world. The video captured that exact moment of synchronization. That's why you've been feeling a strange calm after months of unrest. You're not losing emotion, you're gaining order. Your soul is catching up with your spirit, but the message comes with instruction. God is saying, stop opening doors I just sealed. Some of you have been revisiting conversations, reopening wounds, checking old messages, re-inviting confusion. That's why the flicker reappeared. The light warned you. Do not return to what I removed. If you're listening right now and you know this word is yours, type blessed and ready below. This comment isn't ritual, it's response. You are publicly agreeing that your deliverance is complete. And while you're here, subscribe to Anointed Echo so you don't miss what comes next, because God isn't finished revealing. Let's go deeper. The bathroom represents the secret life, the place where masks fall. That's why the exposure happened there. Heaven waited for a space where no audience existed, no filters, no pretending, only truth. Because God doesn't cleanse what we cover, He cleanses what we confess. And when you finally said, Lord, I can't keep hiding, the veil lifted. The recording captured that transparency in motion. You didn't know cameras were rolling, but heaven did. This is why the timing was perfect. At the same hour your breakthrough began, the physical world documented it, not to embarrass you, but to confirm you. Heaven says, when I decide to vindicate you, I don't need crowds, I just need evidence. That recording became divine proof. Now let me tell you something else hidden in the footage. At exactly 3 minutes and 33 seconds, 333, the number of divine completeness, a burst of light shaped like a hand appeared over the faucet, and at that same moment, every droplet of water froze mid-air on camera for 0.7 seconds. Science can't explain that. Spirit can. God says, I pause time to mark your purification. That's why things around you suddenly feel slow, delays, pauses, waiting seasons. They're not punishment. They're proof you're under divine calibration. He paused your surroundings to prepare your relaunch. Beloved, be patient. Every wait has weight in glory. What looks like stillness is sanctification. So while you wait, share this message. Tell someone heaven just reminded me that my pause is holy. And don't forget, subscribe to Anointed Echo, because the next revelation about what the mirror truly meant is coming. In that moment, the presence in the reflection leaned closer and whispered a single phrase picked up faintly on the audio: "You are sealed." The Spirit wants you to know what that means. When something is sealed, it cannot be tampered with. When a letter is sealed, only the intended recipient can open it. That's you. You are the message God has written to the world, and He's sealed you in protection. That's why certain people can't reach you anymore. That's why attacks fail before they begin. That's why doors shut without explanation. Heaven sealed them to secure you. The recording was confirmation. Your spiritual covering has been upgraded. Angels are stationed not outside, but within your environment. The same light that flickered will now guard your peace permanently. Before we move to the final revelation, where the recording reveals why heaven allowed the watcher to be seen and what it means for your destiny, take a moment and respond. Comment "blessed and ready" if you feel the seal of God over your life. Only seen, click. Like if you believe divine cleansing is still real. Subscribe to Anointed Echo so you can hear the next part the moment it's released. Because what happens next is where heaven starts speaking directly about the purpose behind this supernatural event. The following morning before sunrise, the one who captured the video pressed play again. This time something new happened. The screen glitched, then steadied, and from within the faint fog on the mirror, a face began to form. Not human, not demonic. Radiant. Eyes like melted gold, calm but fierce, looked straight through the lens, and then a voice, layered like wind and thunder, spoke only 4 words. "Tell them I'm near." Everything froze. The sink's dripping stopped. The air thickened. And though no one was physically there, the camera kept recording light moving like breath. "Child, don't move away from this message." That phrase was never meant only for the one who filmed it. It was meant for you. Heaven used that moment to announce divine visitation. God says, "I have entered your space." The walls that heard your sobs will now echo your songs. The place that once felt ordinary is now consecrated. Your home, your spirit, has been marked as holy ground. Listen carefully. The mirror symbolizes reflection, and reflection reveals truth. So when that face appeared, heaven was saying, "You have begun to reflect me." That's why attacks intensified lately, because darkness can't tolerate resemblance to light. Beloved, this is why you've been under pressure. You carry resemblance of the divine. Hell doesn't attack emptiness, it attacks evidence. And you are evidence that grace works. The recording wasn't random, it was a time-stamped proof that heaven's presence rests upon you. That's why the enemy has been whispering shame, fear, confusion. He's trying to distort what the mirror already confirmed, that you bear God's image. When technicians tried to analyze the sound file, their software glitched and shut down. But before it crashed, the system printed one final message on screen, text that no code should produce. Sanctified. The engineers were speechless. The file was corrupt, yet words formed perfectly, glowing faintly as if typed by light itself. Heaven left its signature. It was God's way of saying, "Stop doubting your purification. Stop questioning your worth. The file of your past is closed, and I have stamped sanctified across your name." You listening right now, yes you, need to stop calling yourself what heaven has already erased. Every time you replay old guilt, you reopen what heaven sealed. The message captured in that room wasn't about fear, it was about finality. What's been cleansed is no longer contaminated. Don't scroll, stay right here. Because the next part carries direct instruction from heaven. That night, the same person who recorded the footage dreamt vividly. They were standing again in front of the bathroom mirror, but the reflection didn't show their own face, it showed yours. And behind you, light streamed like water, forming words that said, "Prepare, I'm calling you." Heaven doesn't play with symbols, the vision was specific. Your reflection means your assignment. God is saying, I have called you to be a reflector of my messages. That's why this video found you. You're not just a viewer, you're a vessel. Heaven allowed that recording to surface so that you'd know your season of silence is ending. Your voice is needed, your story carries light, and your testimony will draw others out of darkness. So right now, declare it aloud, Lord, I'm ready to reflect you. Then type blessed and ready in the comments, hit that like, and make sure you're subscribed to Anointed Echo, because you are joining a movement of light bearers across nations. Let's uncover what happened next. At exactly 4:44 a.m., the hour symbolic of divine foundation, the recording device turned itself back on for 7 seconds. No one touched it. The footage showed nothing but the mirror glowing faintly blue. When slowed down, within the glow, faint letters appeared forming a sentence. Fear not the cleansing, embrace the call. That was heaven's last line. And right after that, the device shut down permanently. You've been afraid of what purification would cost you, afraid that letting go would leave you empty. But God says, I never strip without replacing. Every person I removed, I did so to make room for peace. You haven't been losing, you've been lightening. He's decluttering your soul to make space for destiny. Now look at how divine timing works. The same week that recording went viral among friends, you started feeling sudden conviction, thoughts about purpose, repentance, prayer, focus. That's not coincidence. That's the Spirit moving through the message. Heaven often uses physical signs to awaken spiritual assignments. That bathroom moment was heaven's loudspeaker announcing, time to wake up, child, don't ignore it. The same God who revealed himself through reflection is now speaking through this very message. He's saying, cleanse your habits, purify your speech, guard your atmosphere. I'm about to dwell there. So before you continue, whisper right where you are. Holy Spirit, dwell here. Let the air change around you as you say it, because the same presence that appeared in that mirror is filling your space right now. There's more. When you align with heaven's call, residue fights back. That's why, after the recording, small irritations, sudden tension, old memories resurfaced. Don't panic. That's the residue leaving. Just like soap bubbles rise before the final rinse, negativity surfaces before breakthrough. Let it go. Don't argue. Don't chase explanations. Just flush it out spiritually. God says, the cleansing is complete when your silence is peaceful. Not every reaction deserves response. Not every attack requires defense. Sometimes stillness is warfare. Beloved, here's what heaven wants you to remember from this entire event. Heaven records what hell tries to hide. Nothing done against you escapes divine surveillance. Your home is now marked. Peace will increase. Disturbances will lose interest. You are sealed and sanctified. The old season cannot re-enter. You've been called to reflect. The same way light filled the mirror, your life will now reflect hope to others. So lift your head, wipe your tears, and breathe again. The strange recording wasn't an invasion, it was initiation. You just stepped into a higher dimension of awareness. Heaven trusted you enough to witness the unseen. Before I close this chapter, take this moment seriously. Say it aloud. Lord, thank you for cleansing my space and my spirit. Type blessed and ready in the comments as your declaration. Subscribe right now to Anointed Echo so you'll never miss the next prophetic revelation. Because this was not random, it was rehearsal for what's coming next. The same light that appeared in that mirror will soon appear through your life, and when people look at you they'll say, something divine lives there. Heaven whispers one last thing, you were never unguarded. Even in silence I was recording. So walk in peace. The footage was real. But the greater reality is you, living proof that light still overcomes darkness. And remember, every time you stand before your mirror and see your reflection, you're looking at the evidence of a miracle. Child, don't think it ends here. When heaven reveals itself once, it doesn't withdraw, it observes. The mirror was only the beginning. Since that recording, the atmosphere around you has changed. Haven't you felt it? Peace where there used to be panic. Light sleep where nightmares once lived. That's because heaven stationed a watcher, not a ghost but a guardian. God says every time you enter that room, my spirit walks before you. That's why the air feels different. It's not haunted, it's holy. You thought the video was strange. Wait until you realize what it unlocked. The unseen realm has recognized you as awakened. Your name glows in spiritual registers because now you see. But be careful, when light switches on, moths appear. Not every presence around you now is friendly. Some will test your peace, provoke your patience, or question your faith. Smile, you don't have to fight noise when you carry sound from heaven. God says, keep your space clean because I'm using it. Don't clutter your heart with gossip or fear. Don't replay videos of pain when I'm filming. Peace, every prayer you whisper inside that room echoes higher than you think. Your bathroom has become your altar. Water there is no longer ordinary, it represents covenant. Each time you wash your hands, say softly, Lord, cleanse my motives. Each time you look into that mirror, whisper, let me reflect. Simple phrases, powerful results. Heaven responds to repetition of purity. That's how angels mark territory. But let me warn you, child, the enemy hates when purity takes ground. You might notice flickers again, lights dimming, pipes knocking, random chills. Don't fear them. They're not returning darkness, they're residual tremors. When a kingdom falls, dust rises. Stand still, say nothing. Peace itself is a rebuke, because now everything that once hid in corners knows, you are aware. The recording made you dangerous to darkness. Heaven didn't show you that footage to entertain you. It trained you to discern movement in the spirit, so the next time you sense heaviness, don't panic. Simply say, you are exposed. Light will handle the rest. Now lean closer. This part isn't for everyone, but if you're still here, heaven means business. God says, I revealed myself in the mirror because I'm about to use your voice as reflection for others. That's your next assignment. Speak peace where fear lives. Remind others they're not alone. You'll notice people start confessing strange experiences to you, seeing things, sensing shifts, feeling watched. Don't dismiss them. Tell them the truth, heaven is near. This is how revival quietly begins, one awakened soul at a time. There's something else you need to know. That faint light you saw wasn't random color, it carried code. If slowed down, its pattern formed 7 pulses, 7, the number of completion. Heaven was announcing the old season is finished, no more half-life, no more halfway faith. You're stepping into full alignment now. Your thoughts, words, and environment will agree with your destiny. That's why some things are falling apart suddenly. Jobs, friendships, habits, cravings. They don't match your new frequency. Don't chase what's leaving. Let it drain. Everything exiting now is spiritual waste leaving your system. The recording was the flush, the evidence that heaven hit reset. Now hear this carefully. At midnight prayer hours when everything goes quiet, listen closely. You may hear faint rhythm in the pipes, like heartbeat through metal. That's not imagination, that's your home pulsing with consecration. God says, where my spirit dwells, walls remember worship. So even when you forget to pray, your walls will hum intercession. You've built a house of light. This is why attacks have slowed, why confusion no longer fits. Your territory has been recoded. Now take a moment, place your hand on your chest, breathe slow. Say this, Lord, seal my environment in peace. Feel that calm settling inside, that's evidence. Heaven isn't distant, it's domestic. And while that peace surrounds you, do what you know to do. Comment blessed and ready or tap like to align with the message and subscribe to Anointed Echo so the next revelation finds you instantly. God says, I will now turn watchers into witnesses. Meaning, the same people who doubted you will soon testify that something radiant lives in you. You won't have to convince anyone. The light around you will speak louder than words, and when they ask what changed, you'll simply say, God recorded my transformation. Because that's what happened. Heaven filmed your rebirth, not to archive it but to authorize it. Now, beloved, understand this final mystery. Every reflection holds two images, one of you, one of what surrounds you. If you keep focusing on yourself, you'll miss the presence standing behind you. That's why the video mattered. The mirror wasn't showing vanity, it was revealing victory. So next time you see your reflection, don't check flaws, check light. Say softly, still here, still shining. That's worship. Heaven measures light, not looks. Your glow tells angels where faith lives. This is where the message pauses, not ends, because revelation never really stops. It waits for response. Right now, make yours. If this word touched something deep, let heaven see your agreement. Type blessed and ready. Share this message so another soul finds peace, and stay connected by subscribing to Anointed Echo. You are no longer the one searching for signs. You've become the sign. The strange recording was never about what appeared in the bathroom. It was about what awakened inside you. Heaven says, keep your reflection clean, and I'll keep your path bright. Child of light, you've heard the revelation. You've felt the tremor of heaven inside the ordinary. Now comes the instruction. Heaven doesn't expose without establishing. Every vision must become mission. So listen, from this moment forward, every act of cleansing in your life, bathing, washing, sweeping, letting go, is no longer routine, it's prophetic. You're declaring, darkness, you don't belong here. When you pour water, whisper, as this flows so flows grace. When you open windows, say, light, take over. Every ordinary gesture will now carry spiritual weight. God says, I've given you 3 mantles through this encounter. First, discernment. You'll feel energy shifts before words are spoken. Don't ignore it. When peace withdraws, step back. When warmth floods you, stay. That's me guiding you by atmosphere, not argument. Second, authority. You've been timid long enough. Speak peace aloud in your rooms. Call joy by name. When fear tries to return, say firmly, not my mirror, not my mind. Your voice is licensed. Third, reflection. You'll begin to notice that people calm down around you. Tension breaks when you enter. That's the reflection working, my presence mirrored through you. Heaven is assigning you, not entertaining you. This word wasn't for curiosity, it was for commissioning. Where others see footage, you see foundation. A new spiritual house has been laid inside you. You'll dream more clearly now. You'll recognize symbols, water, light, glass, breath. Write them down. Those are your personal coordinates for destiny. And when confusion visits, go back to your mirror. Look yourself in the eyes and repeat, I am sealed, I am sanctified, I am sent. That line will silence torment faster than any sermon. Now heaven says something rare. I will make your stillness prophetic. You don't need to chase momentum. Those who rest in me accelerate effortlessly. Peace will become your proof. That's why you'll notice strangers open up to you, telling secrets, asking for prayer. Don't overthink it. They're responding to the scent of safety that rests on you. Just listen, and when you speak few words. Heaven will stretch them into healing. Child, this next part is holy. Receive it quietly. I decree that every mirror of your life will now show mercy instead of mistakes. Every room you enter will mirror heaven's tone. Where there was clutter, there'll be clarity. Where there was fear, there'll be fragrance of peace. From this day your reflection belongs to God. No curse, no camera, no watcher will distort it again. Heaven has stamped across your atmosphere, cleansed and covered. Take these final actions in faith. Consecrate your space. Light a small candle, not for ritual, but as reminder. Light lives here. Speak Psalm 91 aloud. Dedicate your reflection. Place your right hand on your mirror and say, "Let this surface show truth, not trauma." Record gratitude. Write one line daily beginning, "Today, my light reflected." It trains your mind to notice presence over pressure. Stay connected, because revelation matures in community. Every subscriber to Anointed Echo is part of this prophetic circle. When we comment blessed and ready, we're not filling space, we're forming signal. Now hear heaven's closing declaration. You have been upgraded from observed to ordained. The eyes that once watched you now watch over you. The room once ordinary now breathes prayer. Your reflection is proof that I dwell among my people. So rise, go about your day knowing the unseen moves with you. When you face your mirror next, smile softly, because the same light that appeared in that bathroom now shines from within you. Type it one last time with authority, blessed and ready. Sol Unfres, like as your seal of agreement. Subscribe to Anointed Echo. Stay aligned with prophetic truth. Walk in peace, walk in light, walk knowing heaven records still, but this time it's recording your victory.